Hello everyone, welcome to our Paper Flourish craft video. My name is Julie. I'm going to do a video today making a card and using one of our stamps from our new range in store, the Visible Image stamp range, and the one I'm going to be using is Daisy Grunge. So I'm doing a series of videos using these amazing stamps. Not only do they have stamps such as these, we've got sentiments, sayings, a whole range of stamps have come in, useful for your cards, for your mixed media, for your journals, all different things. So I'm going to start by using a 5-inch square card front, and I've actually got a piece of the Lavinia Multifarious white cardstock. So that's what I'll be using for that. And I'm going to start with some sprays. So I'll just pop the stamp to the side, get my well-used splatter box. And the sprays I'm going to use are the Stampera Aqua colour. I like these because they add some colour to your card, but they're not sort of really strong in your face colour. The one I've got here is called Old Rose. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm just going to do a little bit of spraying onto the card with these lovely things. I want it to be a little bit random. I don't want it to be completely covering the card. And then I'm going to get my heat tool and I'm going to dry that just as it is. Very pretty sprays, these ones, and you can stamp on them no problem at all. Pretty colour, isn't it, that pink, the Old Rose. As always, I'll list in the description for the video all of the products I've used, and that's pretty well dry already. Now I'm going to come in with just a little bit of this one here, which is the water green. So we might do just a little bit of spray with this, just to add a touch of colour, not too much, just a little bit onto the card, and we'll dry that as well. And just an interesting little background. I see how the colour's fairly subtle, it's not super duper strong. Give it a dry on the back as well. I'll hold it up a bit closer in just a moment so you can see what's happened. But I think that's pretty well dry. Okay. There we go. Let's splatter box to the side so you can see here we've got the pink. Got a little bit of that water green in there as well. It's kind of almost the way that's sprayed. I sort of did it a little bit randomly, and it's come out looking a bit like paint splatters, hasn't it? But that's the effect I was after. So this is already pretty dry, but we are going to stamp the image onto the card with your Versafine Clair Nocturne, which is a pigment ink, and then I'm going to emboss it with clear embossing powder. So first thing I want to do is make sure that this ink is completely dry. There's nothing that powder's going to attach to. The embossing powder, we want it to go just where the stamp is. So I've got my Antistatic Pad, and I'm just going to rub that over the card. And this just helps that powder to go where we want it and not everywhere else. Okay, so I'm going to use my stamp press. So I'd like to stamp it a couple of times to get a really nice inky image. And I've got my embossing powder and paper all set to go, because of course once we've stamped this we need to get the embossing powder on it fairly quickly. Now I've decided I'd like to put Hello Sunshine, that's one of the sentiments in this set, maybe down in the corner. So I'm going to aim to pop the daisy maybe around about here. Guide. Actually, before we do that, I think I'm going to add just a little bit of a background stamp into the background. So let's just pop that aside for the moment. I'm going to use Morning Mist Versafine Clair. Now there's another Visible Image stamp set called Grunge Tones, and I think this could look kind of cool just to add a little bit of this. And I'm going to go with the larger dots. So I'm going to do this just on a stamp block. And I'm going to use the Lavinia acrylic plate, pop that on there. The reason I'm using Morning Mist is it's a grey, so it's not going to come out anywhere near as dark as the Nocturne would. So ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp this one here. And then I think I might pop one in down in this corner as well. Those on first, and then we'll stamp the daisy on top of that. There we are. I'm quite happy with that. So your Morning Mist, really, really good. I said you tend to look at it and go, oh, grey, that's not that useful, but it's extremely useful because there it is on the stamp. But again, if your black stamping is going to show up much clearer. This now just sits into the background. Now I'm going to give that a little bit of a dry because I want to make sure that ink is really dry on the card. There. So being a pigment ink, it just takes that a little bit longer, and I'll just go over that as well with the Antistatic Pad. But pigment inks just take a little bit longer to dry than your dye ink, but these Versafine Clairs don't tend to take too long at all. All right, now we'll pop the card back into the stamp press. Right up there in the corner, that on top. And let's get our Daisy Grunge stamp. Now this has script in it, this stamp, so I need to make sure, of course, the script is the correct way up. So I'm just going to have a look at the stamp. Now, let's have a look. So that's it there. So the stamp, if we put it on around about like that, it should be all right. Just wanted to make sure that doesn't matter if it's on a slight angle, but I didn't want the script to be upside down. Let's position the stamp there on the card. I think we might pop it round about, whoops, helps if I put it the right way, doesn't it? Okay, we've got our script, so let's place it maybe around about there. Let's pick it up. Sure that's all in position. So now I'm going to use my Versafine Clair Nocturne, the black, and ink up the stamp. And we'll stamp that. It's already come out really clear there, but I want it to be pretty inky to get the embossing powder to stick, so I might just do that one more time. You see all the detail in this stamp. It's cool, isn't it? Okay, let's just pop that to the side and let's get this embossing powder onto the daisy. I like embossing with the clear. It seems to make the image stand out even more. Just popping that clear embossing powder on there. Just about pop the whole jar on there. Give it a bit of a flick over my bin. There we go. So it's kind of disappeared on us, hasn't it, the daisy? So let's bring the heat tool in. Actually, might just pour this back in first, and then you can actually see what's going on as we emboss it. There we go. There's our clear. And that is I've used the Ranger Superfine Clear Embossing Powder. So have a look at this. Watch our daisy come to life. There it goes. I also find it easier when it's embossed. If I want to add some extra colour to the card, it's a little bit easier to do that. These stamps would look fantastic coloured in with your Copics or any of your colouring, your watercolour pencils. And that's embossed. So what it's done See how now I've got this really nice, strong, shiny image of the daisy. There we go. Spit a little bit of the powder, I'll wipe up there. Okay, let's put the paper back. So it's already looking pretty cool, isn't it? Let's have a look at the other stamps that are on this Daisy Grunge stamp set. So now we'll get our Hello Sunshine. I'm going to stamp this. Let's take off that one. I'm just going to pop this here onto my acrylic plate, and I'm thinking of popping that down in the corner. This time I'm going to stamp it. What colour will I stamp in? I think I might just go in the black. I think that will look really good. Ink up Hello Sunshine. And let's stamp that down here into the corner. There we go. Now again, I could clear emboss that if I wanted to, or I might just, I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. Make the daisy the feature there of the card. There's some other stamps on here as well. Got a lovely bunch of daisies. Smile. There's a tiny little daisy here, which is pretty cute. Could put a couple of those around the card if you wanted to. I think I'm going to leave it just as it is there. So using the Visible Image Daisy Grunge stamp set, these are available now, the Visible Image stamps, at Paper Flourish and on our online store as well, paperflourish.com.au. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll be back again soon with a lot more videos using these incredible stamps. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Bye.